Stage 1. The red. The number on your screen has a minus sign in front of it. You blink. It doesn't vanish. You overdrafted by $6. A streaming charge you forgot you authorized. The bank doesn't care it was $6. The bank cares about the math. And the math says you broke the line. $39. That's the penalty. The price of being poor is that you get poorer. The fee is bigger than the mistake. You stare at it, not angry, just hollow. Then another charge posts. A $9 subscription you meant to cancel. The system sees you're already negative and hits you with another $39. Now you owe $87 to an institution that just made $78 from a $6 error. You call. Hold music. 3 loops. A voice reads a script. Fees cannot be reversed at this time. You ask for a manager. Someone will call within 72 hours. No one calls. The next morning, your rent pings. Declined. Your landlord adds a $90 late fee. Your phone bill bounces. Another $30. The math you couldn't fix at $6 is now $207 deep and growing in directions you never signed off on. You skip lunch Wednesday, not by choice. You walk past the cafe like you were never going in. A coworker asks if you want to grab food. You say, I already ate. You didn't. Hunger at this level isn't loud. It's silent. It's the kind you perform through. You walk into the branch Friday. The teller glances at her screen. Her face shifts. Not anger, not pity. Something older. You watch yourself stop being a person and become a flag, a risk score, a liability with shoes. You leave without saying what you came to say, because somewhere between $6 and the unreturned call and the failed rent, you stopped feeling like a customer. You started feeling like a mistake. Stage 2. The gray. You're not negative anymore. You pulled it back. 18 hours of overtime to stay positive for 1 week. Nobody clapped. Nobody noticed. The bank notices, but not in a good way. The maintenance fee hits anyway. $15, quietly withdrawn. The minimum to avoid it is $2,000. You don't have $2,000, so you pay them to hold the money you barely have. You log in one morning. The fee is gone. No warning. No notification. The system doesn't explain. It executes. You apply for a credit card. They offer a secured one. You give them $400 of your own money so they can lend it back at 26% interest. You read it twice. They want collateral from you to extend credit from your own pocket. You don't take it. So when your tire blows on a Tuesday, you can't fix it. You take the bus. 3 hours late. Your manager doesn't fire you. He just looks at you a second longer than usual. You walk into the branch to ask about the fee. The teller is helping the person ahead of you, smiling, asking about their kids. When you step up, the smile tightens, becomes professional, trained. The air shifts. You become a different category of human without anyone saying a word. She processes your request in 40 seconds, doesn't ask if there's anything else, doesn't say, have a nice day. The next customer walks up and the smile returns. You walk out feeling something you can't name. You weren't refused. You weren't insulted. You were just moved through, like luggage on a belt. The bank doesn't see you as a customer at this stage. The bank doesn't see you at all. You exist on their books. You don't exist in their attention. Stage 3. The beige. Something shifted. Not in your soul, in the algorithm. Your direct deposit hits every 2 weeks. $1,800 after taxes. Consistent, predictable. The pattern you've held for 8 months is the only thing about you that interests the system. The maintenance fee disappears. Not because you asked. The system saw your deposit and waived it automatically. You check 3 times to make sure. The same fee that bled you dry for years just stopped. Credit card offers arrive. Real ones this time. Not secured. Actual cards with $2,500 limits and 21% APR. The same institution that rejected you 10 months ago is now mailing you envelopes with metallic ink, pre-approved, like you became someone else overnight. You apply. Approved in 90 seconds. The notification feels strange. The same system that ignored you at $200 just said yes to you at $2,500. You didn't change. The number did. You walk into the branch and the teller says good morning before you reach the counter. Not the smile she gives the wealthy, not the silence she gave you before. Something in between. Recognition without warmth. Service without effort. You apply for a small loan, $6,000 for car repairs. Approved in 48 hours. Rate 10.5%. Not great, not terrible. You realize something nobody tells you. The bank doesn't care who you are. The bank cares what your account looks like. And at this stage, your account looks like something they can sell to. You're not invisible anymore. You're not respected either. You're profitable. Stage 4, the bronze. You open the app and notice your credit limit changed. $4,500 became $12,000. You didn't ask. You didn't apply. The bank just decided you were worth more rope. The next morning, a call. Not automated, a person. Your bank assigned you a relationship banker. She says her name twice and gives you a direct line. She asks about your goals, your timeline, your savings. She wants to schedule a 15-minute review. The same institution that put you on hold for 45 minutes at stage 2 just called you first thing Tuesday. Your next loan rate drops. You buy a used car. The dealer pulls your credit. The rate that would have been 10.5% at stage 3 is now 6.2%. The price of money got cheaper. Not because you negotiated, because you stopped being a risk. A fee shows up on your statement, $34. You email your banker. 3 hours later, it's reversed. No form, no phone tree, no script. Just a reply. Taken care of. The same fees that drained your account for years are now optional. The system didn't change. Your tier did. You start getting emails with your name spelled right. Subject lines with your first name. Small touches. Personalization. The bank is courting you now. Not aggressively, subtly. The way someone treats a person they don't want to lose. You realize something hidden from you at every level below this one. The bank wasn't mean to you when you were broke. The bank was just indifferent. And indifference at scale looks exactly like cruelty. You're not invested in, you're invested for. Stage 5, the silver. The bank calls you a preferred client now. The word shows up on your statements, on your login screen, on the email signature of the woman who handles your account. You didn't earn the title. The number did. Your relationship banker becomes a real person now. A woman named Sarah who knows you have a brother in Denver because you mentioned it once, 11 months ago. She emails on your birthday. Not automated, written. The detail isn't accident. It's training. The bank teaches her to remember small things because small things keep accounts. You walk into the branch and someone stands up to greet you. Not the teller. Someone with a nameplate and an office. They guide you past the rope line where everyone else waits. The same line you waited in at stage 2. The line you didn't know existed because you were standing inside it. A pre-approval letter arrives. Not for a card, for a $450,000 mortgage. The bank decided what you can afford before you decided to buy a house. The price of money is no longer something you negotiate. It's something offered to you. A competitor calls. They offer to match your rates and beat them on savings. You mention this to Sarah. She calls back within an hour with a counteroffer. The institution that ignored you for years is now competing to keep you. The bank doesn't see you as preferred at this stage. The bank sees you as worth defending. Stage 6, the gold. The bank stops being a place you visit. It becomes a service that comes to you. Sarah doesn't email anymore. Sarah calls. And when she calls, she isn't asking how you are. She's asking when you'd like to meet her colleague from wealth management. The colleague drives to your office, not the other way around. He brings printed reports in a leather folder. He asks about your goals, your timeline, your tax structure, your estate plans. The conversation lasts 90 minutes. At the end, he doesn't try to sell you anything. He just leaves a card and says he'll send a follow-up. The selling already happened. You just didn't notice. You're not being offered products anymore. You're being consulted. The difference matters. A product is something the bank wants you to buy. A consultation is something the bank wants you to need. And needing them is worth more over time than buying once. You call about a frozen wire transfer. Someone answers on the second ring. No hold music, no script, fixed in the same conversation. That same call would have taken 3 hours and 4 transfers at stage 3. You attend a private dinner the bank hosts. 8 clients, a guest speaker, a view of the city you've never seen. Nobody mentions money the entire night. Money is the table, not the conversation. You're not a customer at this stage. You're an asset they protect. Stage 7, the black. Private banking.
The phrase sounds like wealth management, but it isn't. Wealth management is a service. Private banking is a relationship. And relationships don't follow rules. They negotiate them. You don't have a banker anymore. You have a private banker, a title that means something specific inside the institution. He manages fewer than 20 accounts. Yours is one of them. He knows your kids' names. He knows about the foundation you're thinking about starting because you mentioned it over coffee last spring. Your mortgage rate isn't published. It's negotiated. The investment minimum on a private deal is waived because the relationship justifies it. The paperwork that takes a regular customer 2 weeks gets handled in 48 hours because someone was told whose account it is. You walk into a branch you've never visited. They know your name before you sign anything. A different banker stands to introduce himself. The system has flagged you across every location, not because of fame, because of position. You exist in a database that prioritizes you before you ask. You sit in a conference room with no logo on the door. The table is one piece of wood. The deal being discussed is a private investment that won't appear on any prospectus. The room exists because clients like you exist. The room only opens when the relationship justifies it. The bank doesn't follow rules at this stage. The bank bends them for you. Stage 8, the white. You don't have a banker anymore. You have a relationship. And the difference between those two words is the difference between this stage and every stage below it. Your relationship is a named line item in someone's performance review. Losing you would matter to careers. The institution doesn't compete to keep you. The institution organizes itself around not losing you. 3 people inside the bank exist partially because of your account. They don't know that. You don't either. But the math is real. The deals are bespoke, not a menu, not a brochure, sentences written for one client. Your interest rate is negotiated in a phone call. Your investment terms are drafted to your timeline. You don't apply for things at this stage. Things apply for you. Investments are brought to you before they're public. Deals are structured around your participation before you've agreed. But the real shift isn't access, it's influence. The bank doesn't just serve you. The bank consults you. The chief investment officer asks for your opinion on emerging markets. The head of private banking flies out to ask what products their next tier of clients should expect. You're shaping the institution that once charged you $39 for being broke. The bank doesn't have a customer at this stage. The bank has a partner, and the partner has a name, yours. Somewhere right now, someone has a minus sign in front of their balance. They overdrafted by $6. A coffee they forgot was scheduled to charge. The fee hits within the hour, $39. They stare at the screen. They feel something that isn't anger, just tired. They try to call. The hold music loops. A voice answers, reads from a script, tells them fees can't be reversed at this time. They don't know yet that the system isn't broken. The system is working exactly the way it was built to.
The same institution that will one day fly out to ask their opinion on emerging markets is currently charging them for not having enough. You are the same person at every balance. The bank just decides who you are based on what's next to your name. The bank doesn't change at every level. The bank reveals what it always was.